All right, guys, let's go over the kind of news that came out today. Basically, Trump names XRP Sol, ADA, Bitcoin, and ETH as part of U.S. crypto reserve. And then they're also having a summit or meeting or whatever on the 7th of March. So, what happened? Basically, we just pumped like crazy. Kind of the SPR, Strategic Bitcoin Reserve kind of trade came back on the table. Um, Where could you have got involved if you were at the desk? Sadly, I was not at the time. You could have just longed it right off the bat. I mean, that news is crazy. It's super bullish. If not, I remember we were talking about this 90K gap area. This is actually where I took the trade. I was late. And I didn't want to chase, so it came up into here on the low time frames, and we got like some little micro pullback. I just got in, and then we just basically went nuclear to the upside. Um, And yeah, I didn't ride all the way up. I think I got out at like 92, 92, like even. So, it was a good trade, but I didn't, get all the juice out of it. I could have. Um, what am I thinking? I don't think it really changes much, to be honest. It will change if stocks start doing well and stuff, but I don't think it changes the overall picture. I definitely could be wrong. I was talking about, oh, like scenarios for Bitcoin in my last video, and I was like, oh, it might just range through here. Yeah, I mean, it might. I said 90K was super important. I still think it is. If we come back and we come into 90K, I mean, and we hold it, I'm bullish. But if we start losing the whole move off the news, that's not good. You know, some tips for you guys. What'll happen when we get these super expansive moves is we'll come up, we'll dip, and then we'll form a range. And what you want to see is this range basically to fill out, and then we continue. You don't want to see kind of this full news pump or whatever just being lost, it seems obvious, but just something I've noticed. Like on Solana, this is really easy to see on the TPO chart. Something like this. Like this is why I love TPO charts. Again, if you're not familiar with TPO, I can do a series on it, but basically, you guys can see we have a range up here. What's a range? Just sideways price action. And then we have this gap. You don't want to trade back into the gap. You want to hold these single prints where we just have one TPO. Um, if we fill this out, it's not good. Where are we going? We're going to fill it out because it's all longs, and if you start testing them, they're just going to get out. And what happens when longs get out? They have to sell. So that's how I like to think about it. You'll get these imbalance moves. Imbalance moves. What do I mean by imbalanced? Just some really fast moving price action um, off the news. And then what do we get? We get the range normally. Unless it's crazy like boom and then just V reversal, which does happen, but most of the time we'll come up range. And then we see from there. If you're bullish, you bid the range low. If you're not, you can try to short into this gap. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what happens. So I guess let's go over what am I still thinking about Bitcoin. I know I kind of mentioned it earlier, but 90K, 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 I think that's my level. I'll either be looking to bid or sell, and I also think you might have a trade into the event. I think the March 7th event, you might have a short if we pump into it. So that's something that I'm going to be watching for sure, depending on where we are. If it's, March 6th, and we already nuked all this, imbalance, I like to call it price action. Well, I mean, there's no trade to be had, right? Really. Um, I mean, maybe we pump into it and you could still short, but just in my opinion. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Do I think it changes much on my thesis? I don't think so. I think it's still bearish, but I do think it's more dependent now on what stocks do. Um, I think SPX guys, you just have to be, excuse me, you really have to be locked in on what stocks are going to do because, if we open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, um, let's see, March 7th. So that's a Friday. I mean, I don't know if stocks open and we just like nuke. I just don't think crypto's going to hold. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm wrong, but um, you can have some really nice short setting up kind of on this gap fill. Um, or longs even. If you're bullish, you come into here, this is where you want to be long, guys. You you don't want to just long the middle, my opinion, at least. So, yeah, I just don't think it changes much. I think people were comparing it in 2019 to this move. I think it was China, something about Bitcoin in 2019, basically pumped into it. Um, and then we just retraced the whole move in the course of like I think a month. So is it similar? It could be. Um, we just kind of get this last, exit liquidity, absolute scam pump. I mean, not even a scam, just it's what it is. We get this just crazy move up. Maybe we pump into the event and then we just stocks start nuking and we just, waterfall back down. If we hold 90 though, I'm not going to get stuck in the short bias. I'm going to get long. If we come into if we come into 90K and the indicators I follow are looking good, the flow looks good, I'm not gonna just hold on to it like a psycho. So, um, yeah. And I'll tell you, I'll walk through kind of the trades I made. I made that Bitcoin trade on the gap fill. Um, here, the only other trade I'm in right now is a Solana short, um, which I'll probably start covering. It looks like we're getting back down there from here. I just bearish Solana because the unlock, kind of the sentiment around it, and I think I was gonna try to short ADA as well. So he mentioned it was Solana, ADA. Let's see, ADA, XRP, and then Bitcoin and ETH. ADA, the liquidity where I trade is really bad, so it's gonna be hard for me to put size on ADA. I could have did XRP, but I'm actually more bullish XRP than I am Solana, so I didn't want to really short XRP. And the chart looks a lot better. I guess I could have shorted ETH. ETH always looks terrible, but I think Solana was the best kind of RR. So, anyways, I'm short Solana. I'll probably cover some, when the video ends, to be honest. So, um, and then just kind of hold the rest. Hopefully, like I said, I get this kind of beautiful gap fill, trade. But I'm aware that, if stocks open higher tomorrow, we could keep pumping and we kind of just hold this range structure I'm talking about that price loves to do. Um, Other than that, what am I going to watch for next week? KWEB for China. I'm going to be watching the VIX. I'm watching SPX really closely. Let's see what that does. And I'm also going to be watching all these coins that pump like crazy. There's either going to be good longs or shorts to be had on them. I think for me, it's probably going to be Solana and ADA. Like, I want to short this thing, but I don't know. It, it went up like 60, 70% in one candle. Um, you know, I j- you I don't know. Price is doing the whole range thing, and yeah, if you get the trade, you have this like kingmaker short. Um, but it's easier said than done, guys. I'm telling you. Okay, 30%. I was wrong. It wasn't 60, but or was it? What's that at the top? Okay, I guess it was 70. Um, Easier said than done, though. What'll happen? We'll get in here, we'll pump off of it, and then you're like, oh, do I really want to short? So just be careful. But that's kind of the plays I'm looking. Overall, let's see, Solana. I'm just looking at the short I took. I've also been using this indicator. The template is from guy's name is Abe Trade on Twitter. Really like his this is trdr.io template. I've been really enjoying it. So basically what we have the order book like I used to show you guys, but it's just way easier to see on here. Um, and at least for me, I do a lot of intraday trading. I really like the 5 minutes. You guys can see the order book, it flipped here near the top. Um, all this kind of stuff I like to look at. So we have liquidations, we have open interest aggregation. These are all aggregated from different exchanges, and obviously just open interest regular. And then we have the order book depth. These are all based on RSI, so they can give you some mean reversion levels. And then we have just the order book depth. If you guys have any questions about how any of this stuff works, just let me know. But this is what I'm going to be using um, going forward. You guys can see the beauty of how it can kind of tell you, because it's aggregating across all these spot books, and they can give you some really nice entries. So that's what I'll be using. Um, yeah, I mean, I, I just don't think it changes much, guys. I'm still pretty bearish, but we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. 90K, I'll probably take a long. If I get stopped out, it is what it is. And if we retrace the whole pump, it's not going to look good. I would throw this anchored VWAP on your guys' chart. Let me do it on here as well. And just watch this. If we start losing this, um, and we don't hold 90, it's not going to look good. It's definitely not going to look good. So, all right, that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. If you guys disagree or you have any other opinions, let me know. But I think that was it. All right, thanks, guys.